going to be 2Techies drinking craft beer on a Tuesday or Thursday. So like this is the first time we got the whole thing.
Actually, it's working out now.
Yeah, because it's
I
actually
got
Thursday.
you.
We actually got the beer.
Yeah, I like it though.
So today, you know, we drinking ginger beer, and you got ginger beer from Timeline Brewery, and you got Jamaican Funk popcorn from Pop Soul. So we all Caribbean today. We all from the islands today. So help yourself. Everything from here over is yours.
I got you.
It's casual, so don't really worry about the cameras. But you know, we just got a couple of questions. So Jay, when did you fall in love with tech?
Honestly, it's I don't know if I eventually I fell in love with it, but for me it kind of like saved my life at some point. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and it's funny because I don't mean it in like some, you know, way out there where like it literally, like I taught myself how to code and my life changed and I was in just a really bad spot there. You know, so it started maybe
so
like
basically tech allowed you a focus to keep you out of.
Nah, so it's like I've always been into art. Like started drawing in first grade, basically.
I started drawing when I was 3.
Yeah, so started drawing. Like my dad's a tailor, and you know, like the tailors, they make these patterns for the clothes. I just draw all over that. It's like all my schoolwork, homework, everything, just little pictures all over it. Like that's just what they expected. And then so I saw Shrek in like 10th grade, and I was like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'll make 3D movies. So I basically graduated high school in 10th grade, got accepted into like the Art Institute. I walked in 12th grade, but I had all the credits and everything in 10th grade. So I went to like AI for media arts and animation. Doing that program, everything. And then like in the middle of that course, my mom died. Like just right when I was doing like the character modeling and getting into animation. And like, so she passed away, and really it was just like, my mom passed and I was like having a kid at the same time and just extremely poor, you know, like, so trying to figure it all out. And after she died, I kind of like spaced on a lot of like the coursework. I actually can't use the software anymore. But inside of Maya, there's like a scripting language for particles and things like that. And that was very similar to ActionScript and Flash. So I started teaching myself Flash, ActionScript, started making Flash websites, looking for projects, trying to get a little money. It's like I got a kid come in, like I need to be able to do something to generate revenue. And then so from there, it was like I taught myself Flash, I taught myself HTML, CSS, started going into JavaScript, started taking like projects, and really it like gave me a way out of that situation. Like I could afford to live now, I could feed my kid. I started to really enjoy the work I was doing. I got to like quit Foot Locker and go on into like bigger and better things or whatever. So when I say like it saved me, like it really gave me like a way out of a really bad situation, and like something that I can always grow and expand and provide for my family with. So it's a little bit more than just like the love to create or, you know, like those things that people might come with. Like for me, it's like, you know, it became life, you know?
It's an essential thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. That's like the deepest opening I think we done had so far when it comes to this. So with that being said, we know what saves your life, but for the people out there that don't know you, what exactly do you do now in tech and innovation?
So I'm a full stack engineer. I work at a telecommunications company called Family Phone. There I actually manage most of the front end of all of their marketing sites, and I also do a lot of back end development there.
Do you actually work at CIC?
I do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got an office there. That's why I'm always there.
Full-time job. I wouldn't
yeah,
know
nah. That's why I'm always there.
Always
like
working.
Sitting in a corner or something like that. We actually have an office in the building, but most of the time you'll catch me in like a corner or like my back against the wall for some weird reason or whatever.
Zoned out.
Just doing my thing. Headphones on. Probably got like a Jazzy Jeff Boiler Room playing or something like that. So
that Jazzy Jeff summertime mix. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I got something like that going, and I'm just, you know, doing my thing. And then I actually was a marketing director for an advertising agency for 7 years. So even at the company I'm at now, so I'll write like some marketing strategy, go through some analytics, look at some data, make upgrades to the website, port our platform over, whatever it needs to do. It's like whatever we need to do, or I just hop in and just try to get it done. Yeah.
All right. So, besides the fact that we know you love the ginger beer from Timeline Brewery that you're drinking,
That's
what
nice.
is your favorite, craft beer or craft cocktail?
I'm more of a cocktail person.
What would you be drinking?
Probably an old fashioned. I like the
Old fashioned rye whiskey. What are you making your old fashioned with? Because some people got new fashions on the old fashioned. So,
honestly, man, I just order an old fashioned. I think it's rye. Yeah, I think it's rye.
They make them in different ways in different places.
Yeah, I had one recently. I was at Wood, and they had one like a peach old fashioned or something like that. It was interesting.
But it wasn't
It wasn't old fashioned. It was interesting.
Sometimes the new don't work for the old school.
And outside of that, if it's not a cocktail, it's like gin, man. Just gin, squeeze a lime.
You know what? Our previous guest was talking about gin.
Yeah.
I think gin is making a comeback.
I'm telling you, Hendrix. That's
exactly
my
what he said.
Hendrix gin, squeeze a lime, some ice, and good to go.
Might have to go buy Hendrix for the special occasion.
Uh-huh.
All right, so if your business life was based on a movie or a TV show, and we plugged into you, what would we be watching?
I'm gonna say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
What the hell is going on?
That's what I'm gonna say.
Our last guest said the same.
Yeah?
It's cool though.
Yeah.
Why?
You know why? Because it's like I'm in tech and I write code and I do marketing, all this other thing, but I never really left like my background. I keep the culture with me. It's like I stay very true to like who I am and who I always will be. Mm-hmm. And I like to have fun. I goof off with the people that I'm cool with.
Shout out to Valencia Gunda.
Yeah, V. Big shout outs, exactly, But it's like sometimes in the show, like he'll get himself into trouble. He'll be doing all this stuff, but in the end, it always just kind of came together. And then so it resonates,
All right. So, like, what do you feel are some of the challenges maybe or how do you deal with your mental wellness and your mental health? How do you deal with that as an entrepreneur?
To be honest, I didn't at first. Like, I just didn't pay it any attention. Like I just work, put my head down. I get stressed. I do some more work. Something happens. I do some more work. It's like at least I had like this method of like, at least if I'm working on something, I got something kind of going on, I'm getting paid, I got a project moving, then I could just focus on that. And I just let everything else just kind of fall by the wayside. But actually within this year, I've been like doing more, like getting back into the gym, like releasing stress, meditating, like really focusing on like that side of life. Like it's always not about work, like making sure that I'm good as a person and things like that. And I think really like listening to podcasts has helped a lot. Like I've been into like the Super Soul Conversations with Oprah.
Okay.
It's really, really cool. So I'll listen to that kind of often. I've been reading some books like The Power of Now and things like that, like The Deepest Well, and then meditation and working out, and appreciating what I have at this point.
So I know you lost your mother and you had your daughter, but on a more technical side, what was kind of your aha moment when you knew what you were doing was going to work for you or you were going to stick to it?
So I think what really made it stick is that it fulfilled like multiple needs that I had as a person. It's like I got to still be very, very creative. And one of the biggest things with me is I always want to be creating something. I want to be putting things out into the world. And it allowed me to do that. Of course, it's pretty lucrative, so it hit that checkbox, right? And then it was like, once I realized that what I was doing by getting into tech or pursuing this passion that I had, that I wasn't just giving myself a job, it's like I was investing really into myself as a person. It's like I was giving myself a real skill that's always gonna be in demand, and I can kind of pick this thing up and go to anywhere. I can pick up and go to Atlanta and London, and I can go live in whatever it is. It's always going to be in demand. I'll always have something to fall back on because really I invested into giving myself a really valuable skill set.
It's like teaching yourself another language.
Exactly,
All All right. So to us, we've had this conversation, and you're one of the first photos I did for I'm a Man in Tech.
Mm-hmm.
So we already know we have mutual feelings on the depth of diversity and inclusion. And
For sure.
But how do you feel maybe politics is affecting your career, just the outlook on tech? How do you feel politics are playing into that right now?
Let's give me a definition of politics.
Just, I would say, like the state of the things that are happening in the White House, the way we're looking at the business development, the way even though GDP is growing, we're actually acquiring more debt. Just the way everything is running. I know some people are moving different. You look at how Bitcoin is shifted, investments are changing. Do you feel politics are affecting anything you're doing in your career, the way you look at business these days?
I mean, on privacy levels, maybe, like what you're doing with kind of like data and how you have to kind of secure your platforms, thinking about like in that aspect of it,
right.
Like more of like the securities, trying to protect yourself and the applications that you're developing. But I don't really see the White House level of like politics.
Gotcha.
Outside of that. I think like the political, like getting stuck in that rat race of like here in Miami with trying to get into like larger companies or see growth or them look for
turmoil,
that like that part I definitely do see or what they consider like a developer to be, like what is a techie, you know what I mean, like
right.
What does that look like? So I think like that can kind of really affect your career.
Besides playing Fortnite and coding up.
I got Fortnite going in my house like every night. Man.
I'm avoiding getting on it.
Yeah, I don't play it or whatever. Like, but my daughter is.
I can't. I know if I do it,
yeah.
I'm just competitive like that. Like I got this little boxing game on my iPad that controls the whole security system in my house, and like I'm like, man, I'm getting mad. I know these dudes buying stuff, and that's the only reason. So I had to delete it off my app because it was just getting bad. It was getting real bad. So check this out.
Mm-hmm.
You have access to anybody you want, dead or alive, to be a co-founder in a new company. Who's the person you have as your co-founder, and what's the company that you guys are going to start?
It's a really interesting one. Like anybody dead or alive, co-founder, and the company that we would start.
Yep. Unlimited resources. You can do whatever you want. Doesn't even have to be tech.
Wow, this is a good one. For some reason, I'm thinking Prince. Like
okay.
That's kind of the person that came to mind. And then we'd start like a hair company. You know what I mean? Because it's like he got like the brand. He's just cool already. The ladies gonna flock to it. We gonna make money. It's gonna be successful. I don't see how that's gonna fail.
I was gonna ask for the pitch, but I don't need the
And
pitch.
nobody's gonna give you, like, no one's gonna fight back on that one. Like, we got the jingle down pack, like the commercial's gonna be fire. You know what I mean? Now, if anyone else picks Prince and like a hair company,
we know
then you know there's something going on right now. Like the other dude might have said Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but no one's gonna hit you with that one.
A hair company with Prince. All right.
Man.
I don't even need I don't even need the pitch. I can just see it because of all the things Prince did with his hair, and plus he went through that full evolution because he went all the way from the fro and he died with the fro.
Like, black girls gonna go for it.
Okay.
And then you take that and then you expand out into salons and black-owned nail shops and all this other stuff. You just bring this whole bring this whole renaissance of like black-owned beauty. You know.
All right. So now, I got the pitch. You clear it with the pitch. You get to bring at least one person you know personally to run the company with you, or you get to bring on a mentor, anybody alive, to run this company. Do you pick somebody to come work with you, or do you pick the mentor? Either one, we need to know who the person is.
All right, so
it's mentor or a friend.
That's what I'm thinking of, and I'm like, I feel like I should say mentor because they're gonna come with like kind of the knowledge to get this thing off the ground. But I'm thinking like, it's like I got Prince. Like it's already going. It's gonna be popping.
You don't really need it. Prince got the resources for you.
Exactly,
mentor,
right?
So
exactly. So I'm gonna say friend, and then the friend I'm gonna say is actually gonna be one of the guests, and it's gonna be Lenora. That's what I'm gonna bring with me, because like she's gonna have a social media popping.
So that'll take.
And I ain't gotta focus on that at all. Like so, it's like it's just going
I don't even have this question written down. I'm just wondering, what's the name of the company? Is it just called Prince? Or is it just a symbol? Do we go back to? Does it not even have? Or is it just called hair? Like.
It's called Purple.
Purple.
But then we have to fight with the mattress company.
Oh, nah, they wouldn't fight with Prince.
Nah.
Oh, trademark. The trademark wouldn't carry over. They're not in the beauty product.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Unless they spend all the money to control that whole.
There's that. Yeah.
You'll be all right. All right. So dope. Lenore, Prince, and Jae. Purple, the hair company. All right. So, speaking of Prince, there's always a soundtrack to life. So if we got to plug into you and we had the headphones, you either get to pick a song or an album that represents your life right now. What will we be listening to?
It's definitely gonna be Wu-Tang. I'm gonna say that for sure. And I think it's gonna be Bring the Ruckus, just on repeat. And so you get a disc, you put that on there 12 times, and then you sell the disc, and that's the soundtrack to Jae's life.
12 times.
12 times. You know, I have a cousin that does that. When you used to burn the CDs, I was like, you could put it on there once and put it on repeat. And for me, it makes sense. He was like, nah. He was like, nah. You gotta put it on there just over and over again. That's how you know it's real. And that's what he did. I didn't get it then, but I think I kind of get it now.
So your cousin was actually making CDs with the same song.
Same song.
12 times.
Yeah.
That was the number.
Yeah, just throw a song on there over and over and over again. That's how you know it's real.
We got to do an event called 12, and nobody will know why we calling it 12.
I'm down.
Just straight up, whatever we do, it happens.
I'm down.
The event comes with no description, 12, and we just give an address and see who show up.
And then when they leave, you give them a CD.
Right.
With the song on there. 12. But you got to actually burn the CD and write on there. Yeah, exactly. And then they got it.
That would be a good social experiment.
Yeah, trust me. I'm ready.
So we're all in the game. What's going to be the defining legacy of Jae? What's the legacy you want to leave?
I think that what I want people to get from my legacy is that if it's not there, you can create it. And then as long as you're creative, you've already won, realistically.
Right,
it's like that's it. Like if you have that love to create, then it's really that's all you need.
As I say, dream like a kid, do business like a boss.
Yeah, I like that.
When you were a kid, you didn't have those fears. You just the dreams were the dream.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like I watch a lot of TED Talks, and there's one that speaks about like how school kills creativity, and I can't remember the guy's name right now.
Especially the structure of school.
Yeah, it was talking about how like, you know, kids had no fear before, like, and they just go and do their thing and they create, and they really didn't buy into like this is the structure that you have to follow. And when you send them to school, like all of that dies. And it's a really powerful message. It's like an 8-minute TED Talk. I've watched it about maybe 4 or 5 times.
Shout out to all the bullies with all their insecurities. We won't forget y'all. I love going back home and seeing bullies are still in the same place in their life.
It's interesting. I don't really comment, but I'm like in my head, I'm like,
It's a psychological element. You see, but it's like, they were all the same. Stories are still the same. Yeah. So I've asked you all the questions. We can close out with you asking me a question before we wrap up.
Okay.
If you want to.
I want to make this a good one because I only get one question.
You can ask 1 or 2. We got 3 minutes or so.
Okay. Trying to blank and I don't know why.
cool, man. You can just tell me how much you love the beer and the popcorn. It's all right.
I'm feeling it. Actually, I really like the popcorn. So if it's, let's talk about the popcorn.
Yeah, let's do that.
One flavor that you can create, what would it be? Flavor combo between like craft beer and the popcorn. How would you match it
if
up?
I had a combo?
Yeah.
Oh. A red velvet popcorn and like a cocoa stout.
That sounds good.
So it would stay in the chocolate family.
Yeah.
But the cocoa stout would just be the complement to the red velvet.
You know why that sounds good to me is I just had like a red velvet and cookies and cream, like cookie, and I never would have thought to like pair something like that. But it's like the red velvet and the chocolate.
Because a lot of people don't really know that red velvet is just a chocolate
yeah,
cake.
it is.
So
Yeah.
I would just to keep it
Unless
in
it's white people red velvet.
Nah, this would be grandma red velvet.
Oh,
This
okay.
would be old school.
Okay, I got you.
And then just pairing it like that
Uh-huh.
and serving the beer in a little sifter, so it's just a little piece of cake. You cut the cake out in a circle. So we cut it like Karen, but it tastes like grandma. And so it comes out with just the beer and a little, almost like a cupcake of red velvet, and that's your dessert. That's how it's served.
Okay. And
so,
then
so the popcorn is actually accenting the actual red velvet cake itself.
that makes sense.
So that way, I'm actually selling them the popcorn on the way out. So the popcorn is a takeaway. The red velvet with the red velvet popcorn sprinkled on top of it with the beer is how the dessert will come out. That's how you end the night.
I like that. All right, so I got one more.
Go
I had
ahead.
time to think.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, if you could make one change inside of like Miami's tech space,
Yes.
what would the change be, and what is the impact that you feel will be created by making this one change?
I think I may have talked about this with you actually before, but I still believe it. So that means we talked about 6 months ago. For me, it would be putting together a dream team.
Okay.
So everybody that we know, dope skills from coding to marketing, graphic design, whatever, everybody comes together. It would be the concept that what was that, Eric Roberson that did that? Eric Roberson that did the album with Glenn Lewis. Yeah. So playlist. So you bring together everybody. Everybody has all their talent, but everybody drops whatever they're doing. And our album would be whatever project we decide to work on.
Okay.
And for 30 days straight, everybody just works on that project and we equally split ownership. And we launch that company.
And what type of impact does that make?
I think it would be the fact of everybody finally working together, because there's still times where people come up to each other and it's like, I really don't know what you do. We see each other in passing, but because we're not in a walkable city, we don't actually get to spend that genuine time together where it's like, nah, Jay's doing something, I need to be there, I need to support him. Because we don't just spend that time together.
Yeah,
we're such a lateral city. We drive from point A to point B, and if you happen to be there, you happen to be there. But you would treat me different if we was catching the same train on the subway every day and you saw me every day. And you couldn't really duck and dodge me because we had to be at work or we had to be somewhere. So I think because we don't have that walkable city where we're forced to bump into each other and spend time with each other, we don't have that connection like a Philly or a New York and places like that.
Basically, it'd be focusing on growing like the community and building relationships.
Collaboration.
And it's funny that a few months ago, like earlier this year, I felt that same need.
Kind of what you guys are doing with Dev Noir.
With Dev Noir,
Yeah.
we felt like we needed that community of knowing people that look like ourselves.
Because most of the time, when you really think about it, it'll be after something fails or after you finish something, and somebody be like, "Oh, you know, I do this. Actually, I didn't."
Yeah.
Or actually, I totally forgot because we won't see each other enough. Like we just don't have a centralized place. Like if we was to leave here right now, besides going to a space called Tribe, but they don't have food there, they don't have drinks. Just like, where's a place where black people could just go and hang out? I always tell people, if you bring black people into town, if you have 25 black people that's coming to Miami, where do you tell them they have to go besides the normal response of, I mean, you can do South Beach if you want to, but where's the must-go-to place? We don't have that. And I guess right now, shucking and jiving would be starting to be that place.
Okay.
At least for food, but we don't
Yeah,
have
I gotta check that out. Is it good?
I haven't went yet. But
Yeah, I haven't. All right.
I support brands, but I mean, knowing Ornisha's food,
Yeah.
I can't see
Fire.
it being bad.
I got you. Yeah.
So man, we're gonna finish drinking this beer and make sure you get some samples of some of this cologne before you go home, so you can smell like Osman.
It's smelling really good.
Yeah.
Like it hits you as soon as you walk in.
Bro,
It's a lovely thing.
I have a cologne that I wear,
Yeah.
and like literally when I wear it in the house, the old lady will be like, "You smell like Osman." I'm like, first of all, the cologne has a name, and I do not smell like that store, but it actually does smell like that store.
I wouldn't mind smelling like this. I normally go with like the lighter, like my favorites.
This is powerful, but it's not overwhelming.
Yeah, it's nice.
It hits you.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you walk through, they gonna smell you. All right, guys, we appreciate it. 2Techies, Night Foundation, Digital Grass. We'll catch you all on the next round.
Peace.